So my name is Justin Heffernan, and tell you a little bit about my story. So about 5 years ago, I decided I needed to make a change. It was during the COVID crisis, and my wife and I both were in healthcare, and we knew the importance of being, I guess, skinnier. During the crisis, we learned that there was a lot of issues with being morbidly obese, and comorbidity factors were coming into play. And so, being that I wasn't very active and wasn't doing the things that I needed to do, I decided that I was going to make a change. And my change was, I went all out. I set up an appointment with Parkview Weight Management, and I just decided to go out and start running. And at that time, I weighed 326 pounds. And so a lot of people were like, well, how did you run at 326 pounds? I started about 100 feet at a time. So I would run, I'd walk, I'd run, I'd walk. And the crazy thing is, I did it at night. And the reason I did it at night is because nobody wanted to see a 300-pound guy out there trying to run. Because a lot of times whenever you're on a journey to lose weight, there's back and forth. You get in that excitement and you start going, and then a month later you give up. And I didn't know at that point whether I was going to be giving up, so I didn't really want to let the world know what was going on. So a little 100 foot at a time turned into 1,000 feet, turned into a mile. And usually I would run it 4 or 5 times a week, and got to the point where I felt a little more comfortable with getting out because I could complete a mile. So I was like, okay. So I actually twisted my ankle running at night because I didn't have a light. So I started running during the day, and it kind of turned into an addiction of, I wasn't drinking, wasn't doing a lot of the things that I was doing prior to whenever I was being more active and trying to focus on my health. And the next thing you know, come spring, I signed up for a race, and that's where everything kind of took off from there. So since then, I have went from 326 pounds to my lowest of 168, I believe I got down to. I try to stay right around 170, so I kind of bounce between 170 and 175. When I first ran that race, I think I was at close to a 9.5 minute mile or something of that nature. And as crazy as it is, I don't enjoy running per se. I don't get that runner's high that people talk about. Like, I get the runner's high from completing a distance faster than I did last time. And so there's a huge learning curve with running on learning how to manage your intake of food and how to create the energy that you need and those things. And over the last year, I'm kind of perfecting that and getting, that down. But for the most part, it's getting to the point where your body. And I feel that I'm getting there. And so on my last 10K, I finally had a huge time difference. And I have yet to run a 5K race under a 7-minute pace. And on my last 10K, I ran a 6 minute and 56 minute pace, which was, for me, that's crazy. I mean, I'm 50 years old. So my goal, I set goals. The first goal was I want to get under 200 pounds. Then I want to run a half marathon at 170 pounds. Then I want to run a full marathon. And now that I've hit that 50 age bracket, my goal is to PR on every distance that I've done. So I only live a couple miles from here. So when I really started utilizing the trails the most was once my distances started getting up. So once I started training for the half marathon, which happened fairly fast. I've run Indy every year and Fort for Fitness every year for I think the last 4 years. And so really once I got that spring start of the races, I thrive on, I guess, the big stage. Like, that's where I want to get out there and I want to do the best that I can at these races. So like, I really try to prepare. And so as my weight came down, I needed to run further. And I can get about 2 miles in my neighborhood, And anything after 2 miles, I want to go somewhere else typically. That's where this has come into play the most for me. And this is honestly my favorite section of trail that I've ever been on. And for the summertime, it gets crazy hot. And I've been trying to run, whether it's cold or hot. And this section right here makes a huge difference because the wind block from the trees, and it basically is 2 miles down and back. And so during the summer when the heat is just crazy, I just come here and I'll just back and forth. I've done it maybe 10 miles just on this section right here. Now, when I was training for the full marathon, I ran down to Cookie Cottage, but I always start here. I always go north first, then head that way. So I already got 2 miles in before I do anything. And then I ran to Cookie Cottage, and you can stop at the Y to use the bathrooms and stuff like that. So it's so great for us, truly. I love being outside. Like, I love to get my family outside. I love to honestly, I love to inspire other people to be outside. And that's why I try to do a lot on social media, is try to get other people to maybe look at what I'm doing and say, man, if that guy can do it, why the hell can't I?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so the trails are everything to me. Like, I think they're everything to so many people. I mean, we've seen how many people go by here in the couple minutes we've been here, because they're incredible. Like, they're what links the entire city now. I mean, we're getting to the point where they're going to get the bridge over Coliseum. I mean, you can go from here to New Haven to south side of Fort Wayne on a trail. Even on a day during the day, you come out here to this trailhead, the parking lot's full. Like, it's so, I love driving by the Y. The Y seems to get the largest amount of people because they have the parking, they have people who are there for a common goal of getting healthy. And you drive on DuPont Road and it is completely full of people. And I love to see that. I feel like I'm a gawker, just like, oh yeah, they're running, that person's, I'm a people watcher. And so just to come out here and sit and, sometimes I'll run 5 miles and then I'll sit on a bench for an hour, just kind of chill and watch people and talk to people. And, I've met a couple of people on the trail that I now follow on Strava because, we realize that we're doing the same things and, we're in the same races and stuff like that. And it's an absolutely fantastic feeling to see people out here doing it. I honestly, at some point, would love to adopt a bench too, because I love seeing the benches along the trail. I would love to figure out a way to do some kind of a fundraising effort to be able to adopt a bench, because I think that would be cool to, not only come out and clean up the trails, but also provide, a reason that people can rest while they're out on the trails and doing their things. The Adopt a Greenway, it's one of those things, I'm already here. Why not try to make the trail better by, there's certain things that I can do, and there's things that need to be done by one of the trail sponsors or whoever they have do the cleanup. If a big tree falls across the trail, that's the things that I can let people know. But for the most part, it's really simple. I'm already out here. I can just grab a bag while I'm going out on a run or a walk or whatever. It's, I believe 2 times a year is what you're supposed to check in and do an actual organized event. For the most part, I do it myself. Like, I don't need a large organization, and that's what I think people need to understand, is it doesn't take a large organization. If you're out on the trail and you only have to, fill out a document 2 times a year that say that you grabbed a trash bag and picked up some trash along the trail, it's very simple. Like, I think that more people should give it a try. It's nothing that's hard to do. And since I'm already here, I'm just gonna do it anyways. Like, I just feel like everybody needs to do their part in the things that are awesome to make them even better. I mean, truly. Having the opportunity to get on the trails is really the best thing for me, because I can't stand being on a treadmill. I've been up and down here with deer in the pathway, fox running around. I mean, every single time you almost have to watch out for the squirrels, because they're so used to humans that they're running in front of you to where you're going to trip on them as you're running. Like, that truly amplifies the experience of everything that I'm doing, because I get that fact that, like, nobody else gets to enjoy that as much as I don't know. Like there's just something to be said for having access to be able to do that. Like I want something that everybody can use all the time, and this is where it's at. Like being able to come down here and park 2 miles away from my house or ride a bike here or whatever that I want to do, is having that access available to me is phenomenal. The one thing that I will say is that these trails don't just happen on their own. Over the years, I mean, when I lived downtown 25 years ago, we had access to the trails and I used them very often. I used to work at Parkview, Rendalia, and for an entire year, I refused to drive a car to work. So I would, use the sidewalks, trails, and things like that. But it's taken 20 years for that to get out here. And the one thing that I will say is there are so many opportunities to volunteer. And even if you don't have extra money to give, you can volunteer at the fundraisers for Fort Wayne Trails. You can volunteer to give your time to the trail cleanup. I already explained it's very simple to do. You only have to come out here essentially twice a year to do it. Those things make a huge difference. But the biggest thing that we need is the large donors, people who can really make the world of difference, like the bridge that's going to go over Coliseum Boulevard. It's so hard to raise money for things like that, and we need more people to step up in this community, because these trails are what hold the community together. It brings everybody within distance of each other, because it's really a network of blood vessels that everything flows. I mean, truly, it's what keeps our, I mean, I could literally go to ride a bicycle to watch a baseball game downtown from here. I mean, it's crazy that you can do things like that. And I have friends who do that kind of stuff. Like a guy that I'm friends with lived in New Haven, and they would ride to Fort Wayne to go to events downtown. Like, that's what we need more of. And none of that is going to happen without people volunteering, whether it's, volunteering to clean up, volunteering to help with events that are going on in the community, or volunteering the large donors to, buy a bench and, help support the community that they're living in. Everybody has their way of doing things, and you have to do something that works for you. But like seeking a professional to help you along that journey, and it's hard for a lot of us because we get busy with our lives, but what's more important than your health? There's nothing. You got to be around for your kids, you got to be around for your family, you got to be around to take care of your parents, and you need to take control of your health so that you can continue on in this crazy journey of life.